For better living, are you feeling good tonight? This thing got me thinking of life.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about knotless box braids versus regular box braids. Well, what is the difference? Like, aren't they all just braids? Like, why are we being mad extra right now? Well, I'm going to let you know. So the regular box braids is just like literally the regular braids where the knots show. The knots in regular box braids acts as the anchor for the braids. Typically just keeps the grip together, and whenever you take down your hair, sometimes you may notice that it also takes a little bit of your hair with it too. Well, the knotless box braids is the existence of box braids without this knot at the base. For example, this, where it kind of makes your hair look like, the braids is literally coming from your scalp without that huge knot at the base, okay? It's still nice and gripped tightly, but there's no tension. Now, all you need for this tutorial is Shiny Jam, your, your thread holder, and your pre-stretched braiding hair. I always recommend pre-stretch to make your life easier. So just organize everything in your nice, thread holder just to make it faster for yourself. As you can see, the piece of hair I'm using is not big. So to start off, I'm going to be doing this slow-mo for you guys, okay? So you're going to start by braiding your natural hair first. You're just literally going to crisscross those 3 strands. That is the very first step, okay? Very simple. Just crisscross those 3 strands, and then you're going to stop right there, okay? Then you're going to pick up a strand of hair. Now, the piece of hair you're going to pick is going to be like not like a small, but just like a medium size, okay? Then you're going to feed it through your finger that is next to your thumb, okay? You're going to do another crisscross braid, right? And then you're going to take another piece of hair. Again, same method, you're going to feed it through in between those 2 fingers. So the best way I can explain it is to think about it like you're starting feeding braids, right? Where you're feeding the hair, except for this time you're not actually doing a cornrow, you're actually doing individual braids. But you can start it as though you're doing the cornrows and feeding the hair like you're doing, braids. So yeah, that's the best way I can explain it for you guys. So the third, you're only adding 3 pieces of hair to secure the base, right? Because you want 3 pieces of hair to distribute evenly for the 3 strands of braids, correct? So after you've gotten that down, you're gonna notice that the hair may be a little bit short because you're feeding hair as opposed to starting with 1 long strand. Here's what you do. We're gonna add hair, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do that. So you're gonna braid down a little bit further so that way when you add some braiding hair, you can add some additional length to the hair. So you're gonna take a little bit of that, same size of braids. You're gonna place it in between those 2 strands on your left. And I'm going to show you a more clear picture. You're placing it in between those 2 braids, and then you're going to tuck it into it to continue braiding as though you didn't just add hair, if that makes sense. So you're taking a little bit of hair and you're placing it right in between those 2 braids that I have right there. Put your hand right there, and then you kind of tuck it in, doing the regular 3-strand braid. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. I'm trying to help do really good with the visuals. But anyways, this is what it should be looking like at the roots. Very, very like no knotty look. You can move the hair immediately and your client won't feel any tension or any pain. It's just, I just love this. So I'm just gonna let you guys watch, and then I'm just gonna talk about, the pros and the cons of the knotless braids versus, just the regular old braids. Now, there's nothing wrong with the regular method that we normally do. It's just, we gotta find better ways to do things and make things better, which is why, I don't know who invented the knotless braid, but shout out to you. So this is a much safer version of box braids. You can, you can literally, like when you leave the chair, you can literally put your hair in a ponytail and not start crying. Like, it's less tension. Your hair won't break by the time you take it out. There's sometimes the braids, even if your stylist is really, really good and just safe, sometimes even when you take out your braids, a little piece of your hair always kind of comes out with it. So the knotless braids, I think it kind of solves that problem. So if you're looking for something lightweight and you're looking for something that's very natural looking and not heavy, I recommend looking into the knotless box braids. It's a service that does take longer. If you were to do the service The first time, this is the first time I'm doing this, by the way, took me 6 hours. Box braids usually takes me like 4 hours. Okay, so this was quite a process for me. But yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. Arrange your schedule accordingly. But yeah, so when you start adding hair, you're gonna notice that your ends are gonna naturally feather off, especially when you use pre-stretched braiding hair. So just a little FYI tip. I wouldn't recommend messing with expression for this because by the time you stretch the hair and all that, you probably end up spending 10 hours in this hairstyle. I just try some pre-stretched hair. Now, the reason why I use shine and jam is because it makes the base of the hair look very clean. Okay, this is literally my secret, my secret treasure. Okay, when you add it to the base of the hair, not only does it make it easier for you to grip, but it also makes the base of your hair look very, very nice and clean, and it defines your parting even more. So I recommend, if you don't like braiding with product, at least try shine and jam. Shine and jam doesn't make the hair slippery. It just gives it some tackiness to the base that it doesn't dry up flaky. It just adds some moisture and gives it some tackiness, for you to braid with. Amazing product. So look into it if you're a braider. So I think the only time I've actually seen someone with these braids were like Beyonce. I think she typically gets braids like this that are very like not so naughty at the base. It just looks very natural. So I think she actually probably started this low key, kind of like how she put lemonade braids on the map. Don't quote me, I don't know, but I just saw it on her and I was like, girl, okay, this is cute. But yeah, I actually really, really like this method. The only thing that I don't like is that it takes longer to do, but the only way that I figured out how to beat the time is to organize your hair on your thread holder. When you do that, it takes away time from you having to like take out hair and then walk back to your client's hair and all that. So invest in a thread holder. It really, really works. So for the last piece of hair, I literally just do the same thing, like the same method we've been doing. I just add 3 strands of hair and then I braid a little bit further down and then add some hair to increase the length. So that's the first piece of hair I'm adding at the base. I'm going to take another piece of hair to add to the roots, and then I'm going to braid once more. And then I'm going to take the last piece of hair and I'm going to add it as well. And then we're going to continue braiding just a little bit further down. The reason I like to braid a little bit further down is that when we add the last piece of hair, which is going to, like I said, increase the length, it makes it more obvious that the length has been extended. So you want to braid down just a little bit further. Just depends on how long your client wants her hair, or if your client doesn't want length, you can leave it this way. You don't have to add hair. Just depends on what your client is requesting for. So yeah, you guys, this is pretty much the gist of the knotless box braids. If you think I did a good job explaining this method, make sure you smash the like button, okay? And I'll do more detailed tutorials like this. I just had a lot of time today, so I was like, okay, let me actually put some work into this. So I hope the visuals help, and I hope I did a good job. So this is what your hair is looking like. Just take a pair of scissors and just trim up any flyaway hairs. You guys know you want to take your time with this because this is going to determine how your braids come out looking like. Are they going to look good? Are they going to look how they're going to look like. So take your time, cut off all the stray hairs, and then you're going to make sure your client is draped and get ready to dip the hair into hot water because hot water also adds movements. And the one thing I noticed about the knotless box braids is that it already naturally has a lot of movement without having to dip it into the hot water, which is quite strange. I don't know why that is, but maybe because we're adding the hair in sections and not just like one huge chunk, But I don't know, it already kind of feels very light even before you dip it. So yeah. So yeah, now that you're done, you just wanna, lay the baby hair. It's very important. You wanna make sure your client is done all the way. Do not half-ass anything, just like a little bit of touches. If you remember, sometimes by the time we're done doing hair, we tend to forget. Now you see how I was able to just flip this hair immediately? Like if I was doing the regular box braids, I would not be able to do this. Okay, my client would be screaming. So this is why the knotless box braids, when I say it's less tension, I mean less tension. You can literally put this hair in a ponytail and go right out the door without crying, okay? You can sleep however you want. It just is a more carefree and more, relaxed version of box braids, and I think everybody should look into it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you get lots of pictures from your clients so you can post and brag about, your service or whatever. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, smash the like button, leave a comment, share, and I will catch you guys on my next video. Have a merry day and God bless.